Croeso, welcome back to Britain's Hidden History. Me, Ross Broadstock, short video here talking about Caerau, which means castles or forts in Welsh. And it would seem to be part of, it's on the edge of Cardiff in Ely, well, it used to be the edge of Cardiff before it sprawled out. And you can see, if you look at the Fortress Glamorgan videos, you can see how this forms part of a defensive structure around Glamorgan and Gwent. But sadly, this never gets mentioned, of course. So what's happened? BBC have latched onto it, or their obviously recognition of the site goes back a long way, and I'll show you a bit more about that. So an archaeological dig uncovers earliest house in city. So here we go, this could be the earliest house found in Cardiff, important words there. So volunteers and archaeologists, a clay pot which could be about 3,000 years old. How do you date it? I'd love to know. The group were looking for the missing link between the late Iron Age and the early Roman period. I didn't realise there was a gap that needed filling there. I thought Romans were late Iron Age, but there you go. Right, moving away from that. It's just next to the Caerau Hill Fort, a heritage site of national significance. Remember that, right? National significance. And archaeology and community members had previously discovered finds of Neolithic, Iron Age, Roman and medieval origins at the Hill Fort. Alright, so a whole range of dates there, okay? What's brilliant here, discovered this, that people could be living down in Cardiff part between 1500 and 1100 BC. The enclosure definitely predates the Hill Fort. People were living here before the Hill Fort was built. So they're saying that Cardiff predates the Romans, right? I mean, how else can you read this? It's an area of Cardiff. It goes back to 1500 BC. Which, even whichever way you look at it, it's over 1,000 years before the Romans arrived, and people were living there. This should be significant news, because there's myth going round that Cardiff is named after CADW in Welsh, after Didius, the Roman governor, wherever he was there for a while, although it was after he left. But anyway, named after Didius, that's how you get Cardiff. Now, Caerdydd, city of the agreement, Dyddio, the agreement, which seems to be a reference, Wilson and Blackett suggest, by when Hadrian made his deal with the British, a peace treaty in the 120s. And that's when we had the change of the British kings becoming emperors and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's look a bit more about this. This is what I would have thought this would be fascinating to be interested in. Now, the great thing about it is, yes, all this is great, right? The headmaster of the local school, we're delighted to be involved in this exciting archaeological project. Students have loved learning about the history. It's just a stone's throw away from the school, which I think is quite funny. The word stone's throw, remember that? Okay, I agree. All that's great. But surely we actually want to learn about our history as well. And also, if these are Cardiff children and that, they want to learn about Cardiff and the fact that Cardiff people built these things. It wasn't the Romans. We don't need to fly the pretty Roman flag. So I looked up to see what they found. I've been doing some Google searches and that. And actually finding the stuff. That's where I'd like your help. If you can find the actual... what they found, what makes them make these claims, what's the methodology, what's the procedures, how do they date the pot, how they discover that something, even if you go to like archaeology.org, it's the same story, basically it's just running the same press releases, you don't get any more information on that. So I go to this group, Care Heritage, which is the one setting it all up. It's lovely, always lots of touchy-feely, involving communities. There's some of the ruins, but there's woodlands over a lot of this. You can see the road there. It's a fascinating site where our community and our past come together. And it's all just, but where's the hard information? Look at all the funding you get. This is why. This is how it's done, right? Because it's a touchy-feely community project, you get all this funding and backing and all that kind of stuff, all right? What we're not getting is the hard information and the tough questions to say, well, hang on a second, maybe this isn't Roman. And why is it the town predates the Hill Fort? Could it be that it's a 6th century idea of this defensive situation in the Arthurian period? All taboo subjects. You won't see those mentioned anywhere. So let's go to the University Press. This is the official line, if you like. I'm not sure what's in this book exactly, but I get an idea because there's a description here. And this chapter addresses through different perspectives the role that shared archaeology and heritage work in the Caerau and Ely rediscovering heritage project, the CARE. From the beginning, the guiding principle has been to actively involve community members, all this kind of stuff, which is great. The knowledge, energy and creativity of local people have been expressed through the engagement. It's all wonderful. So what we end up then is we get lots of this kind of thing. It's both with their local heritage and each other. They're writing plays, they're getting artists, they're doing impressions, all this kind of stuff, which is great. But don't have to dumb it down so much. You can actually talk about history as well, and the objects and how they were dated. Some of the science would be good, wouldn't it? Or is this my opinion? Right, so we've got the Cardiffians website, which is very cool. Loads of information there. I've always liked it. A bit of a background. This is interesting. At the summit, a wooden palisade would have provided cover for defenders to bombard the enemy with stones. Hence the joke with the stone throw reference. In 1894, a Roman villa was discovered. Is it Roman? Says who? Well, if you look on the archaeology sites, go to Covline, you see it was good old Mortimer Wheeler again. The one who seemed to have a particular dislike of anything being Welsh and had a personal crusade to not find anything in Wales. The results showed several outbuildings and bathing facilities to exist there. Sadly, another thing you'll find is that because I think when this article was written a few years ago, the earthworks remain clearly visible. Whereas if you go on the CADW site and that kind of thing, you'll see that they're now, most people live nearby have no idea it's even there because it's covered in woodland. So why aren't we protecting it? We've got millions and millions and millions to spend promoting the foreign castles like Caerphilly and the supposedly Roman stuff at Caerleon. Wow, money is no object. Redevelop Harlech, the great Edwardian castles on the north coast, no problem. Even put a sign up on a Welsh site, nah, not going to happen. So what is going on? It's really, really weird. So we go to Covline, which is the official thing. Let's try and get this right. The Royal Commission into Ancient and Historical Monuments of Wales. Covline is their site, so you can see this. Use control and zoom. Oh, okay, and let's go on the map there. Anyways, it's just basically a field, right? There's no great museum. There's nothing to promote it. There's all this community engagement. Where's a pot museum saying, look, this is something to be proud of. This is some part of Welsh history. It could be part of this fortress system defending in the 6th century. There's evidence of buildings going on. Walls, roads, predating the Romans. Pottery predating the Romans. The British do have their own history. Isn't this exciting? But no, it's a Roman villa. And some details about that. And then you find that the survey's done. There we are, 1894, J. Ward, excavated by Wheeler in 1922, excavated and filled in again. Why isn't it like a permanent, like Caerleon or something? And my suspicion is because it couldn't prove it was Roman, therefore you cover it back up. If they'd found Roman stuff there, this would be a museum and it would be fantastic. So there's all this stuff here. We got small finds from the excavation, include coins, horseshoes, lead strainer, bronze, horse, blah, blah, blah. Can we have them all on the website, please? With nice, pretty pictures. And if anyone can find it, please share the link and I'd like to have a look. And let me know what you think about this. I've got to get down to Ely-Caerau. It's a fantastic site. And it's one that we should be proud of. And great to get people involved. That's what I spend my life doing, trying to get more people involved. But let's get involved with learning from the history, not necessarily just making it a touchy-feely, fun experience. It can be fun anyway. All right. So enough. I look forward to your comments. Till the next time, Heddwch.